Good evening, church. And it's a special pleasure for us to be here in your church. And I really love the name of this town, Rocky Face, because I like to do rock climbing. So is it true? Do you have rock faces here? Good? Okay. This is probably the place, if I would live in the States, I would choose to live. But the best place to live, do you know where? In the middle of the Lord's will. And we see that in Ukraine. And it's a wonderful time for us to be there with the Lord and see what He is doing. And thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support, for your part in ministry in that part of the world. And we would like to share with you, and we will really appreciate your prayers about this ministry. Okay, so this is like primary goals, like what we are doing in Ukraine. We focus on personal evangelism, sharing the gospel with people, and then church planting and growth, and pro-life ministry, and childbirth advocacy. So personal witnessing and evangelism, that's something that is really important for us, and we see it's important for God and for His kingdom. You know, when I get saved, I didn't hear gospel until I was 14 years old. And when I heard the gospel, it took me 2 years to handle all that, issues. And then finally I get saved when I was 17. But when I get saved, I was thinking, like, why I was not able to hear before? Why I was not able to hear? Because in Ukraine, you can't hear that on the street at that time. It was in 1996 when I get saved. And you can't hear that in the school about God, and you would not hear that on TV or somewhere else. But God finding the ways how to save people, and He found the way for me, and He is really putting on our heart to bring this gospel to other people, that they can hear about God and that they can make choice. Well, here is Ukraine. As you see, Ukraine, it's a part of the world right in the middle of the universe. You see other countries around, and even Georgia right there, like Russia, you can see even Georgia. It doesn't look like your Georgia, but you probably know that there are another Georgia. And other countries around Ukraine, most of them are Russian-speaking countries. Because of the Soviet Union in the past, many of that countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, like especially on the right side of the map, they know Russian language. And in Ukraine, it's also one of the languages, it's Russian. So it's good for us. I mean, it's pretty easy to share the gospel. I mean, you don't have that language barrier with many people. And this is what makes Ukraine really good. Gives us very many opportunities to share the gospel with, not just inside Ukraine, but even outside of the Ukraine. And you just can travel without, you don't need any visa or anything for Ukrainians. You just go to Russia, just take a trip and go to Caucasus Mountains for climbing, and then you can see a lot of Muslims in that area and talk with them. But mostly we are in Ukraine, in Kiev, spending our time. In Ukraine, there are thousands of all different, hundreds different nationalities that lives, and different ethnic groups. And people like to be divided in society by all different cultural issues. So that, as a result, like thousands of people, they don't go to church because we don't have, churches are more cultural things in Ukraine, and if somebody from other country or from other culture, he doesn't want to go to the Ukrainian National Church. And they just don't go. But I was really actually surprised to see that they don't mind to learn about God and hear about God right where they are if you are going to them. On the street, in the parking lot, or in the coffee area somewhere, you can meet these people. And if you especially spend some time with them, God is really opening their hearts. It might take them a while to get to church, but this is how they are starting, and it's really nice for us to do this street evangelism ministry and to teach other people in church to go out and share the gospel with people. Like you were singing a song about candle and light. You know, it's hard to see the light when you are sitting in all other candles around you, you know, like it's not hits your eyes like if somebody is, lighting inside the church. But if you are getting outside of the church, and if you are getting in unbelievers group, then you can see that more. So they don't mind to hear about God when you are spending some time with them. So we like to spend time with them. We are going outside, if we see next slide, and we spend time with them. This is one of our Baptist services, actually. It was on the Dnieper River, and at the same time was people that we are training to share the gospel with open people, with people who are interested to hear about God. How can we know that people are interested or that they are having open heart for God? Just ask them questions. Just ask them questions. May I ask you a couple questions about God? He says yes. Okay. If you will die, will you be with God in heaven? And he is answering yes or no, or I don't know. Many people, they say, I never heard about that. Can you tell me about that? And I'm just asking, I will be happy to. And then you just start to share the gospel with them. We go to all different places as a part of our training. This is like main training what we are doing. We are having a group of people for 5 days, every day, or we can do that class like in a month for like once a week meeting. And the part of the training is that they are going out in groups, 2 or 3, and sharing the gospel with people. The rule number 1 when they are going out, you are not arguing with people. You are asking permission to hear the gospel. And if they don't want to hear, just bless them and live in peace. Because people who are going through this training, some of them are preachers, but others are just regular people who get saved yesterday and not baptized even yet. And we don't want them, to do that confrontation. I remember when I took evangelism class long ago and we went out witnessing, it was more like who will argue and will win. It was more like that. With other students, I know how to persuade people, I know, and it was like this more like, I don't know, like proud maybe dominated. But here we are just going out and spending time with people. On the top, it's a railway station. Railway station in Kiev, it's a central place where there are all different of people. I met there people from Sri Lanka, people from Russia, people from Georgia, people from other parts in Ukraine, all different nationalities. And it's interesting to see how they are open to hear about God, and then we are sharing tracts with them. And other people are comfortable to meet in the car. There's a taxi driver, and he likes to hear about God, and we are studying with him Bible in the car. That's his place where he is comfortable. He is not comfortable to come to the church because there are too much light, probably.